Hello and welcome to the first ever player analysis of AV Whiff League. I'm your commissioner, Patrick Gallagher. Alongside me is fellow associate CFO Shane Cancilla and player, special guest, Lonnie Solomon.
Good evening.
Great. We are very excited and enthused to analyze and go through each player step by step as we prepare for the draft later this week. This is the Tawny Classic second annual. We've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. It's been over a year since our last tournament at AV Whiff League, but this year we have promised you guys through our videos to be bigger and better than ever before, as we mentioned in the Commissioner's video way back in early April. Now, without further ado, let's get into each of the players. We have 32 players this year, a wide variety of personalities, backgrounds, skills, all of the above. We're very much excited to see how it develops, so let's get right into it. Our first player is Michael Cassetti. Lonnie, tell me what you think about Michael Cassetti, excuse me.
Yeah, Michael Cassetti, I mean, he's been in the league for a while, Patrick, and I see a lot of potential in him this year. He didn't show out like I thought he would in these showcase games, but I do see him being a big factor in winning games.
What would you say, Shane?
I mean, you know, in the past he's been an A+ player, but with the adjustment to the 45-foot strike zone distance, I would say Michael, I'd put him at a B-.
I have to agree with that, Shane. Now, Michael is a good friend of mine. He was a former champion with me last year on Uncle Cheddar. Glue guy, no doubt about it. Brings a lot of energy. You can't deny. Arizona Chugger, we call him. Fish nips and whatnot. But I'm excited to see if he can improve. I was a little disappointed by his batting this past weekend. However, I do think if there's anyone that can come out with a full force and great attitude and be a lightning rod for his team, it will be Michael Cassetti at the plate. All right, let's move on to the next player, Max Jorgenson. Shane, what do you got about Max Jorgenson?
Now, there's not much to say. He hasn't showed up to a lot of AV Whiff League games. He's, you know, an underdeveloped player, but in these showcases, he's shown a little light in the offensive side, if I must say. You know, I can't say much about him. You know, he hasn't played that much, but I'll go low C on Max Jorgenson.
Interesting. Now, for me, I got to watch Max yesterday. He's only had a couple games of experience in this league. However, from those 2 games of last year as well as seeing him yesterday, he's got a really quick bat, good contact, pretty athletic too. He didn't play baseball in high school, although he's got some speed to him as well. I gave him a high C, C+. What would you say about him, Lonnie?
Yeah, I'm going a little bit lower. I give him a C. Although he's a great athlete, he ran track in high school. I do remember him in Little League. He was effective. He was very effective, but I do see him being a lower C.
Definitely will be a good player in the middle of the lineup for any team and be a good second to third guy that will produce occasionally here and there. But I won't be surprised if he has some big hits come the Tawny Classic. Let's move on to our third player, JT Justin Cowboy Warner. Lonnie, what do you got on the man himself?
A-. Justin Warner's a great athlete. He can hit. He can hit. I remember going up against him showcase game. He took me deep. He took me deep. I'm gonna be honest, but I think he's an A- because of his potential too.
He does have great potential, especially at pitching as well. Shane, what do you think about JT?
I mean, if you don't put this guy anywhere above an A-, I'm going to go as far to say A. You're not seeing what I'm seeing, okay? He's got potential at the pitching mound, you know, and his hitting is undeniable. He's had a history of hitting very well in this league. I put Justin Warner at an A.
You see, with Justin, my standards are a little bit higher in my rankings. I'm not too generous when it comes to A's. I give Justin a B, but if you look at my scale, it seems about right. I love Justin. He's a terrific hitter, but in recent years he's been very apathetic with his play. He's been lazy at times, and he doesn't seem to have a good diet. He eats a lot of Slim Jims, a lot of bangs. That could hurt him when we play those long days on Saturdays and Sundays back-to-back. Although I have to say about this, if there's anyone that toughs it out, it's JT Warner. And he's a good pitcher. He's developing his pitches, and he works really hard. And he's also a superb hitter, and we all know that. Let's move on to our fourth player, Trevor Asbery. What do you think about Trevor, Shane?
Trevor. What is to say about Trevor Asbery? He's a great guy. Contributes a lot to this league. I'll tell you that much. He's a great friend, great teammate, but his skills are lacking. You know, he could use some work at the plate. Haven't seen him pitch that much. Just based on his attitude alone, I'm gonna put him at a C-, maybe a D+.
C-, D+ range for Shane. What about you, Lonnie?
I also put him at a C- range. You know, he lacks coordination, if I'm going to be 100% honest. He was a middle linebacker in high school. Great football player. But football and football, different sport, different game. C- for me.
Again, my standards are not as generous as Lonnie and Shane. I do give him a C-, but I think my view on him is a little bit higher. He really showed out yesterday, exceeded my expectations, had several hits, clutch, scrappy hits, could make some plays in the field as well, was very open to learning pitching, sucked at it, but was very open to learn. That type of attitude is what you need, and the effort, that comes with it. Attitude and effort. Originally, I thought it was going to be a bottom pick, maybe the last pick of the draft. Originally, he wasn't even in the draft, but he's really carved himself into be an established, I would say, a high third rounder. Now, who's to say when it comes to this Saturday? However, I'm really impressed by his attitude, and again, leader, captain on the Amador Valley football team. Future Trojan, USC, great student, athlete, terrific overall human being. He will be very impactful and a huge culture guy. So let's move on to number 5, Derek Whitworth. Lonnie, your good buddy Derek.
Yeah, I'm good friends with Derek, but I'm actually going to stay at the C range. Derek, he quit baseball freshman year after coming from an outstanding season, but he just didn't like it anymore, and I see that happening with football. I see him burning out pretty quick, even though he does have the ability to be great.
Shane, what do you think?
He was hanging his head earlier in the showcase games, after a couple ABs, striking out. It's not easy to hit this kind of pitching. I can see his abilities faltering even more as this league continues. So I'm going to put him at a D.
I have it around the same area, D+, one of the lowest rankings I have. Was very not impressed with his lack of contributions this past weekend. Hitting was sluggish. Fielding made some errors, made some mental errors as well, which is big when it comes to these one-run games we'll probably have with tight pitching. I'm not really excited with Derek's play. However, I do think he has a chance to pick it up. He has a good bat from freshman year. He was terrific, one of the best hitters. Could have been a varsity star, but football took over, and he's a great football athlete as well. We'll see what happens with Derek, but from what I've seen Saturday and from what I saw last year, I'm not sure what to expect. All right, let's move on to number 6. We got Andrew Maddalon. Shane, what do you think about Andrew?
What a surprising player.
Most definitely.
Personally, I was talking trash to Andrew during the showcase games, but he showed out. Faces Yetso, gets the grand slam, shows he can pitch a little bit, it's around the zone. This guy can be a star. I'm going to put him at a B+.
B+, wow. Good grade. Lonnie, what do you think?
I put him at B+ too, except I knew he was a star from the beginning. I played baseball with him in varsity this year. Great pitcher for us from the south side. It's not easy. It's not easy to hit left-handed pitchers in wiffle ball.
I have to agree with that. Lefty pitchers are a little different to hit because they're unorthodox. There's only several in our league. Andrew Maddalon, myself, and Justin Rasmussen, and Jake Gebb, However, Andrew, he's got a nice Chris Sale arm slot to him, which is tough to face coming behind. He also had a good bat. A little surprised by that. Righty batter. Had some good strokes. But you know what impressed me the most by Andrew was Saturday night texting me, asking if he could play Sunday to get more reps. That's the kind of attitude you need from a player who's going to be dedicated. There's a lot at stake here in the Tawny Classic, and you want a guy like that where you can trust, who will give it his all. And I give him a B, but again, my standards are a little bit higher. But I'm very excited to see Andrew. I'll be curious to see where he will be selected. First round, second round, we'll see. But without a doubt, he will make some noise come Tawny Classic.
Love to see that.
Love to see it. Next player, one of my good pals, great energy, Josh Anderson. Lonnie, what do you got about Josh?
To be honest, I don't know much about Josh. I do know he is an experienced football player. I do know he has been on Patrick's team in the past. And if you're teammates with Patrick, you do end up getting better in the long run. So I do see him being good.
He was never on my team.
Scratch that. He was never on Patrick's team. But if you're in Patrick's league, you do get better.
All right, Shane, what do you got?
Josh Anderson. I've faced him in the past. He 1v3'd me and won the game. That's undeniable. You can't change history. In recent years, he hasn't showed that same skill, but with that pass, knowing his ability, knowing how he can affect this league, I'm going to put him at a C+.
You see, it's interesting with Josh because he didn't play last year, and he played this past weekend. However, he didn't show out really. He was struggling, but I think that's just some rust. He couldn't really pitch strikes, was struggling with pitches, took a ball home with him. Hopefully he's practicing right now in his backyard. His hitting was a little streaky, although, again, that 1v3s, he showed grit. Ball Mill Memorial, the Kona Classic, he was superb in 2018. He's got a great heart, fiery passion. I'm really excited to see what happens to him because I know from the first pitch all the way to the last out, he will be in it 100%. That's just the spirit of Josh Anderson. Bang him in the head. That's my guy right there. I gave him a B- just because I trust him and his instincts and his leadership, no doubt about it. All right, Shane, let's go to number 8, Carter Leong. What do you got about Leong?
The word that I think of when I think of Carter is raw. He's raw power. He's got raw hitting skills. Pitching, another variable. But on his hitting end, he's got a lot of power. Slap the ball a little bit. I'm gonna put him at a C minus.
C minus. What do you say about that, Lonnie?
No, I disagree. I put him at a D. He's a hockey player, I believe, if I'm correct. And you can't have a hockey swing with football. I don't see him going anywhere. I mean, he's a great kid. I love the kid, but D for me.
You know, with Carter, it's interesting because he is very raw. He's got so much juice, but he's got great speed. I mean, he really gets the ball past 20 feet with the shorter automatic out. He'll be an automatic hit each time. His pitching, pretty incompetent. However, I do think that he can make some noise at the plate. But the one thing that that's the setting factor of it all is his fielding. It's pretty bad. He doesn't have good recognition of the field, and his tracking of fly balls was lacking. Made a lot of errors this past weekend. I got Carter at a C flat. But we'll see what happens to Carter. Again, every so often he'll hit one out of the yard and make some noise and change the momentum of a game. So we'll see what happens there come Tawny Classic. Next player we're going to you, Lonnie, here. Anthony Goldhawk, big culture guy. What do you got about Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Anthony, even though he did win LVP one year, I believe. That's the least valuable player. He did serve me at the hop yard, which was great food. Thank you for that, Anthony. I did tip you. And you got an F. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's fair. Shane, what do you got on that?
I've got to agree with Lonnie on this one. You know, he's a smart guy. UC Davis. You know, he was on that wait list, but he got in. You know, it's hard to get in there for engineering. You know, and smart guy. He loves the game, loves to pitch, loves to play, but he's a D for me. D minus.
I got the highest grade with Goldie. I got a C minus, and I'll say it 2 words: culture guy. Culture guy, big time. You tell him what to do, he'll do it. You want him to run around a tree, he'll run around a tree. You want him to catch a fly ball, he might, but he'll try his best. And that's what you can take. And that's a solid team guy. He will close the lineup. He will do whatever it takes you ask him. Now, of course, his hitting streaky. His pitching is a little incompetent and borderline spectrum. However, I think, you know, Anthony is an integral part of a winning team. He's got the mentality and he's got the attitude. And sometimes attitude is what it takes to get those gritty hits, to get those gritty runs. So I'm looking forward to Goldhawk, and we're golfing this weekend, actually, as well. Next pick, Shane, we're going to you here. Jacob Stinson.
Incredible baseball player. He's got wheels, foul tool player. You know, he's got that arm. When it comes to wiffle ball, he's got a hole.
Shaky.
You know, he's got that inside-out swing, but it's inside and out. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to put him at D+, that low. You know, I'm sorry, Stinson, you're a good friend of mine, but you got to up your game.
D+ for a Division I baseball player. What do you got to say about that, Lonnie?
I mean, Stinny's one of the hardest workers I know, and I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. I didn't see his game. I have heard some things that he didn't show out like he should have, but I give him a C because I think he will work on it. I think he's working on it right now like he usually does.
See, Jacob's also got a very small sample size. He's only played in one tournament, the Kelowna Classic, and got about 2 games in, I believe. Didn't play those other years due to injuries and baseball. However, I do trust and believe in Jacob. He was very, very disappointed in himself Saturday, but I know that he's going to work his tail off. I got him at a C- grade. He's got great speed. Simply with Jacob, all he's got to do is put the bat on the ball, and it'll go. He's just got to learn. He's got to shorten his swing a little bit, short to it, long through it. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, I want this guy to succeed, this Tawny Classic, because you just love his attitude. He's a great, terrific human being, and we'll see what happens. But whatever it is, I know he's going to work his tail off. He's just got to keep on pushing forward. Next guy, we're going up to you, Lonnie. Griffin Big Red Myers. What do you think about Griff?
Griffin Myers, I mean, Washington State commit. I mean, big left-handed hitter who did take me deep as well the other day, but he did not pitch at all, actually, and that's going to bring him down a little bit. I think that hurts. So I gave him a C+.
He's got a sore arm, so we'll see what happens there come June 20th. What do you think about that, Shane?
Yeah, that's definitely going to put him down in the defensive and the pitching spectrum. You know, and he's not an experienced player. He's on the younger side. You know, big tits. He's got to up his game if he's going to show out this tournament. And I'm going to put him at a C-, honestly.
C-.
Maybe even as low as D, considering Jacob Stinson.
Wow.
D+.
D. That's very low.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's very low. I see. I got a little more praise for Griffin. I got a C plus because I think he's got a low floor, but he's got a very high ceiling. He had a home run over the weekend off Lonnie Solomon. He has a good bat. He really does have a good bat. I think he can be a stopper, lefty, good stick. Now the thing is, we'll see if he can pitch a little bit. But honestly, if he has solid pitching, he did a good job in the right field, making his moves around. Good footwork at first base a couple times. We'll see what happens, but I think he's got a good presence up there. He could definitely be a second-round draft pick, and he could definitely cause havoc for a lot of these pitchers and cause a lot of frustration. All he's got to do is shorten that swing, man. He's got the power, no doubt about it. He's got the sauce. We'll see if he can perform. Next guy we're going to you, Shane, our good buddy, young guy, fiery power, Brendan O'Sullivan.
B.O.
B.O.
Stinky.
Smells bad.
What can you
Horrible.
say about Stinky? I'll say this. He's an A-.
Wow, A-.
This kid, around the zone, throws the ball hard. He's got a good bat, fouls pitches off, gets on base. He's everything you want in an all-around player. He's early draft pick. I'd say top 5 draft pick.
Top 5. You heard it first from Shane. What about you, Lonnie? What do you think about Sully?
I do think Stinky is a very good player. I give him a B plus. He's competitive. He's very competitive, and he can pitch. He can hit, but he does smell bad, and that's a no go for a lot of captains. They don't want BO on your team. I mean, come on, who does?
When you have those hugs at those moments of excitement and exultation for a lot of teams, you come together real close, and a really grimy smell can really hurt a team's momentum. However, I give him a B plus as well. Great bat, solid pitching. He's got 2 pitches, a nice screw drop, and a good slider. He's got to work on his variation a little predictable. However, his bat's nice and quick. He's got a little pop, little zest in his step, and we'll see what happens. But definitely a first rounder, gonna make some noise. Gonna possibly be a second horse on the staff. Could be a 1 staff if he develops into it. High potential, no doubt about it. All that matters is availability come the draft. But he will be ready. I know he will. He's gonna pounce on that opportunity. B plus for Brendan O'Sullivan. Good job, Stinky. All right, let's move on, Lonnie. We're coming to you here, John Sweeney.
Listen, man, John Sweeney, he's a character. If I could take him first overall, I would, but I don't have the power. I did give him a grade D. Even though he brings so much joy and excitement to the team, he doesn't have the skill set to be a C or above. So I set him a D.
Lacks skill set, no doubt about it. What do you think, Shane?
I mean, he's been around baseball his whole life. You know, wiffle ball has been, he's been a great character for this league, great momentum builder. Just based on the attitude alone, I'm going to put him at C-. This kid, he's going to pour his heart out for you, and for some reason he always seems to get on base.
Very much so. Got a lot of walks over the weekend. Now, he might not produce the big-time hits, big shots, no doubt about it, but hey, if there's anyone that can pull through, it's John Lonnie. Oh, well, it's okay. John Sweeney. You fuck it up. John Sweeney, but he's got a great heart, great character. Glue guy, no doubt about it. Again, I got him at C-. Gonna probably be a last rounder, but character guy, culture guy. All right, Shane, we're gonna go here with a good friend of ours, Lonnie Solomon. What do you think about Lonnie?
Now, Lonnie, he's a guy that hangs his head over the plate. I'll tell you that much. But this kid, he's got a great slider. He's got incredible baseball knowledge, incredible baseball skill, history playing. If he can get his head up, during those early struggles, I'm sure this kid could be a star. But I'm gonna go, based on his inexperience, B-.
No doubt about it. He hasn't had great success in the league thus far with the Flamingos, and also the Cripples, 2 very notorious teams that have been horrible. But he's alone this time. He's not with his. I guess his teammates kind of dragged him down. But we'll see what happens. What do you think, Lonnie?
Yeah, I agree. I think he has potential, even though he is inexperienced and he has a lot to work on.
We're talking in third person today, but that's okay. Lonnie Solomon, I got him at my grade B-. He's got a little gusto in him, a little zest in his step. I think he can be a pitcher and also a hitter, 2-way guy. It's pretty scarce in our league, so I definitely see him as a first rounder. Now, where would that be? Low, middle, high? I don't know. But wherever Lonnie goes, I know he's going to give it his all. And he's got a great spirit, great heart, and a beautiful face. All right, Lonnie, we're going to you now. Matt Sugden. Matt Sugden, Phil High School.
Matt Sugden, offensive threat. Every time I've played against him, 4 for 5, 3 doubles, home run. He can score. He really can. I'm going to give him a B because I don't know what his defense is like. I don't. And I don't know what his pitching is like, but I know he's a big offensive guy.
What do you think, Shane?
I can definitely see this guy being a first rounder, if not a high second round draft pick. Now the struggle is his pitching. You know, if you're a captain and you're not a great pitcher, you're not picking this guy up in the first round, okay? But, you know, it's no doubt that he's an offensive threat, and for that, I'm going to put him at a C+.
Definitely has major holes in his pitching. Doesn't have an arsenal whatsoever. Doesn't even have a pitch whatsoever. He's got a good bat. Struggled a little bit over the weekend, but I think that's rust. He's got a good short swing. Plays Division II baseball at San Francisco State. He was a stud at Foothill. He was a stud in the Bob Mill Memorial. So he's got it. He's got the experience. He's got the mentality. He's got the chance to really show out at the plate. If he can pitch, I think that's really a plus. But honestly, I think the guys and the captains are looking for him just to perform at the plate, and that's his job. If he focuses on that and just goes short to the ball and just gets nice base hits like we know he can, and even get some dingers, he'll be very productive and very effective for his team and be a madness for the pitchers in Navy Whiff League. And I give him a C grade only because I wasn't too impressed by his performance this past weekend. But then again, we got a couple weeks to go. All right, Shane, we're going to go here with Jason Yetso. Jason Yetso, Amateur Valley High.
Yetso's been a long-time teammate of mine, whether it be baseball or wiffle ball in the SS Yetso. You know, this kid's scrappy. That's what he is. He's scrappy. This kid can pitch. He's got an arsenal. He's around the plate. Problem is he doesn't have a lot of velo, and his power at the plate is lacking. But based on his pure skill and his ability to get on and his ability to throw strikes, I'm going to put him at a B-.
B-. Lonnie, what do you think about that?
I mean, I agree with Shane. He is a scrappy ball player. I've played baseball with him for a while, and he always finds a way to get on. He makes the routine plays, but he does lack big power and big plays. So I'm going to give him a C+.
He is definitely a high floor, low ceiling kind of guy, pretty consistent. He can pitch a little bit, hit a little bit. Nothing crazy, nothing with a lot of zip, but he's solid. He's a solid player. I give him a B- grade. I think he can be a number 2 guy on any team. I really do, because he has several pitches in his arsenal, but he doesn't have the speed at the plate. He doesn't have the speed on the mound. He doesn't have the speed on the base paths, but he's consistent. And former teammate of mine in flag football, he was a good wideout. But we'll see what he can do here in Navy Whiff League when it comes to the big plays. We're going to go to Jake Gebb here. Jake Gebb. Shane?
You know, I haven't seen much of him as a wiffle ball player. He played last year, you know, with Team Nestor, I believe.
Yes.
He could be a good pitcher. I see him, you know, pitching in baseball. I could see him being around the zone in wiffle ball, but as far as offense goes, I haven't seen much of that. So I can't put him any higher than a C.
All right, nothing higher than a C for Shane. What do you got, Lonnie?
I mean, Jake Gebb, I think he has a lot of potential. Left-handed pitcher again. They're sneaky. Whether or not they have experience. I think he has a lot of potential. I'm going to go B-.
I would take a shitty lefty versus a shitty righty all day just because of the unconventional pitching. I got to see a little bit of him Sunday. I give him a B- because he does have a little bat in him. He had a couple hits. He had one dinger, actually. It was pretty popped deep in right center. His pitching was working it a little bit around the zone, not really quite dialed up, but he's got time to work on that. But he was really, really caring, asking a lot of questions how he can get better. So that type of attitude will propel you to really improve your stock. So I got him at a B-. All right, we're going to move on to Matthew Kenny and Lonnie, your good pal. Matt, what do you got about him?
I mean, Matt also brings a lot of character, brings fun. He's a great guy. He can also hit. I saw some hitting in another game the other day, but he doesn't have defense and he doesn't have pitching, and like at all. So I'm going to have to go with the C-.
C- for Matt Kenny from his good pal Lonnie. What do you think about that, Shane?
I mean, as a fellow Ginger, I'd like to give him a higher grade, but I have to agree with Lonnie here. Doesn't have a lot of defensive stock for this draft, and you know his hitting is lacking slightly. You know, but he'll battle when he gets there. So C- it is.
Great guy, no doubt about it. Big culture guy. He's going to bring a lot of gusto and a lot of prowess onto the team with his energy. High octane of a character. High octane as a player. Not so much. A little deficient in that aspect. I give him a C-. Fielding, shaky. Pitching, non-existent. Hitting, on and off. So we'll see what happens, but he does have the power to pop one out over the fence every so often. I give him a C- grade. Again, character guy, culture guy. We'll see where he goes in the draft. All right, next pick. We're going Connor Murphy. What do you think about Connor, Shane?
Connor, University of Florida.
Florida? Go Gators.
He's a great athlete. Big guy.
Big guy.
Strong guy.
Strong guy.
Does it translate to wiffle ball, Pat?
No.
I think I can't put him any higher than an F. This guy is low in the draft pick. Great guy. Great friend to many. But as far as A.B. Whiffley goes, he's not a top player.
Punch to the gut right there. First F from Shane today. What do you think about that, Lonnie?
I'm going to have to agree with Shane on this one. Great student, super smart kid, and he is a Gator at the University of Florida. Great football player, too. I mean, he has the size. But he does lack coordination when it comes to wiffle ball. I mean, we see it in his fellow linebacker, Trevor Asbery. He deserves an F.
A lot of the football players kind of lose this kind of agility and coordination that is very coveted in the A.B. wiffle ball in general. I got him at a D, my lowest grade. So, of course, that doesn't mean good for Connor Murphy. He didn't show me anything exciting. He had a couple walks over the weekend. From my I don't even know when the last time he's gotten a hit in A.B. Whiffley, if I'm being honest with you. Fielding, he's got brick hands, spikes the ball, pitching out there, really short wingspan. However, good guy.
Great guy.
Great guy. Great guy. All right, Shane, let's go to you now with Jordan Snook. What do you think about Jordan?
Now this player, he's a sleeper. I know Jack tried to hide him in the draft, but there's no doubt that this kid is going to be a top pick. You know, he's got incredible pitching ability. He's got an arsenal of pitches. And for some reason, he always finds a way on. Sometimes even gets a ding-dong every now and again. I'm going to put Jordan at a B+.
B+ for Jordan. What do you think about that, Lonnie?
I think Jordan is an elite football player. I do. I mean, I saw him yesterday in the game. He shoved. He had a couple knocks. I think he might have had a home run, too. He honestly made his brother look bad, if I'm going to be 100% honest. And for that, I'm going to have to give him an A-.
You definitely put Jack in his shadow yesterday. Jack, I'm being honest with you. But, with Jordan, I give him a B+, not an A grade, because his hitting can be a little bit volatile. However, his pitching is superb. He's really only got He's really got 2 pitches he throws. He throws that drop screwball, but that pitch is just so effective. It's got a different bite to it than anyone else. Really sharp. And then he's got a slider as well. So with Jordan, I think he's just going to be an animal at the pitching. But hitting, if he can really get some contacts, no doubt about it, top 3 pick come this next week. And he will definitely be a horse come playoff time for any team he is a part of. All right, next one we're going to you, Lonnie. Derek Nassar.
I think Derek Nassar is another sleeper. He's a great athlete. He plays football. He used to play baseball. He was a great baseball player. I mean, his brother's a great baseball player. I think he has it in his blood. I think he has a lot of good potential. C+.
Not really much a pitcher. Did pitch a little bit yesterday, but got a little bit. Doesn't have the velo. Doesn't really have the experience from the mound. It's a little different, and when it comes to wiffle ball pitching. But great athlete, solid bat, contact. But I really loved his fielding. Balled out, died for everything. Got good hands. Football player. So, but this time he's a specialized football player. That could help a little bit here. So I think I give him a C grade, solid. He'll be a good solid fielder and a solid bat in the middle of the order. We're excited to see what Derek can do and produce for whatever team he is on. All right, Shane, we're gonna go with Luke Palfalvi, Amador Valley.
He is riddled with injury. Lower half, he's got that ankle injury, and that'll do it to you in wiffle ball. A lot of holes in the ground, a lot of high grass. And his pitching didn't show out. His hitting in the past has been great, but I can't put it any better than a B.
B for Luke Palfalvi. What do you think about that, Lonnie?
Yeah, I agree with Shane. I think that injury is going to be a huge factor for football. He's not going to be able to run his bases as well. I mean, pitching, he might slip a little bit. Same with hitting. I'm going to put him at B-. He lacks some things.
Luke, probably one of the most exciting players in previous years. He's an automatic web gem in the outfield. He was pretty good at pitching, and he's got a good bat. But in the past week or 2, he hasn't really played well. Again, that injury can do it to you. I think it's a haircut. Boy needs to get it cut and fix that ankle of his so he can be back to his normal self. But hopefully he's mentally preparing himself, because if not, it will be a long, long weekend, and his team will go into the ground burning.